Please note that the analyst names Ted Jackson and Joe Hamilton are completely made up, fictitious, as is all data in this demo scenario. Hello, my name is Bob Harford. I'm with Buchanan and Edwards, and this is our submission for the Microsoft BI demo contest. Our scenario involves the criminal investigation of suspicious cash transactions. Those are ones involving $10,000 or more and are deposited at a U.S. bank. I'll be playing the role of Ted Jackson. It's his job to monitor, analyze, and report on these transactions, and he does that using a SharePoint dashboard that was created with Performance Point. SharePoint is running in SSRS integrated mode, and there are a variety of KPIs, SSAS, SSRS reports, analytic charts, and grids, all designed to allow him to spot the troublesome trends, pull out the associated transactions, and then, as we'll see, take advantage of SharePoint to generate a workflow and the assignment of to-do tasks so that the planning analysts can adjust the budget and manpower for follow-up. Okay, so this is the first page of the dashboard that I use Ted Jackson to analyze these suspicious cash transactions. What we have is a dashboard created with Performance Point. It's running in SharePoint, and I'm also running in SharePoint SSRS integrated mode. First thing I do is I look at my KPIs. Here's my objective KPI that rolls up two child KPIs. One is foreign cash, the other is U.S. cash. And in this example, decreasing is better. So the fewer amount of suspicious cash transactions and the lower dollar amounts involved, that would signal a green status, whereas the more of these goes into the red. So we can see that the goal here, the target, is based on the parallel period from the previous year. So the fourth quarter 2007, the dollar amount for those transactions involving foreign money was $18.3 million. We actually exceeded that in the fourth quarter 2008, so that puts us in the red status. Some other periods involving U.S. cash, they were in the green. The roll-up KPI takes the average of the children and gives you green, yellow, or red accordingly. The standalone KPI is based on one that's in an SSAS cube. The advantage there is you can also get a trend line. The trend differs from the status in that the trend only looks at the last month of the quarter, or the last child value associated with the period. So while I'm in the yellow for both the third quarter and the fourth quarter, the trend is down in the fourth quarter, meaning that in December 2008 there were more suspicious transactions than in December 2007. Again, decreasing is better. The opposite was true for the third quarter. So I know I got a problem in the fourth quarter. One of the nice things is on this dashboard is I have a map supplied by Dundas visualization software in conjunction with SSRS, where I can visually see geographically where my trouble areas are. So why don't I filter this report by the fourth quarter and run it. And what that will do is South America is another area that's historically been a trouble spot for these types of transactions, so we've included that in the map. And so what this is going to do is give me a good feel as to, now that I know that the fourth quarter is a troublesome time period, let's see if I can get a feel for where they're occurring. And we define Tennessee as being in the southwest, so we can see that the southwest is an area that has a couple in the yellow, one in the red, which would be more of a concern, say, than in the far west. I can also, I won't do it now, but I could click on one of these states to get the details on the transactions in those areas. Okay, the next thing I do is I open up an Excel services report that's tied to an SSAS cube. So we'll go ahead and open that up. And this is going to enable me to really analyze, slice and dice the numbers, as well as get into the details on these suspicious transactions. A lot of times it's nice to include a chart, but we know what we're going after. So South America is what we wanted to focus in on, as well as transactions occurring in banks in the American Southwest. So I am filtering the data to those places. Now I can now double click on that and break it out by state. Drill back up. One of the things I like to do is now look at the details of each transaction. Here's each individual record laid out from left to right. I can use the Excel data mining add-in to explore that. For example, to get a bar chart as to what countries are most involved. In this example, Bolivia and Colombia. We also have data mining models that we have in our SSAS cube that we've pre-built and can be refreshed using the latest data. Nice thing about the data mining add-in and Excel 2007 is not only the analyst but any detective we have in the field can access these models, be authenticated through their Windows login, and get some food for thought as to what are the interesting patterns to investigate. So here, if we just start scrolling down, look at this, you can see actually no wire transfers, one where it's particularly involved in highly suspicious transaction where there's a lot of cash involved. Southwest again pops up. So I'm going to go ahead and save that off and save that to a particular area for uploading. We'll talk about that later. That will trigger a planning process. And the other thing that can be done in terms of briefing superiors is I can right click. I can also go out to a nicely formatted web-based report to include in any briefings. I've now clicked on page 2 of the dashboard, and this allows me some further more detailed analysis. And another advantage is the reports are linked together through dashboard filters. So I know based on page 1 that 2008 was an area of particular concern, so I'm going to filter my elements by 2008, and South America was another area that I wanted to zero in on, so I will filter by that as well. And in addition, financial institutions in the Southwest. So we can see now that my analytical grid has focused its data on 2008 with countries originating with the cash transaction originating in South America. My Excel services report using a named range has been filtered based on the third filter here, which is the region of the financial institution, and I have a graphical map using Dundas visualization software that is also linked on the time filter and the US region filter. Now I'm done with my monitoring, analysis, and reporting. My last job is to upload the Excel document that we generated through the SSAS cube drill through, and that contains the details of the suspicious transactions we need to follow up on. By uploading this document, I assign a task to Joe Hamilton's group, who's in charge of planning, and he will adjust the budget and resources.